Hey guys, it's your boy Hennythegamer here, back with another video. Okay, hope you guys are doing good during this pandemic. Hope you guys are staying safe. Hope you guys are staying out of trouble. So, about that, I'm also going to do some tutorial videos on how to stream on your laptop if you have either a desktop, because I used to have a desktop, but now I have a laptop. But hope you guys enjoy. All right, like, comment, and also don't forget to turn off your post. I said turn off. I meant turn on your post notifications. More videos are coming, so stay tuned. Keep it cool, keep it classy. Let's get it. Okay. Bye. Turn this up.
With all this quarantining madness going on because of COVID-19, my family and I have fled New York State to our Massachusetts lake house to avoid contact with other people.
Okay.
The lake, which I will not name for safety reasons, has a bunch of houses surrounding it, and in the summer months it's full of boats and people barbecuing and drinking. But right now, in late March when I'm writing this, it's kind of a ghost town here, and it's weird seeing it like this here. Anyway, I wouldn't be here writing this if something didn't go wrong, right?
Right.
My younger brothers, who I'll call Steve and Glenn, were out on the deck overlooking the lake with me. We were setting up the table for a game of beer pong, which we invited our dad to play with us so the teams would be even. The sky had reached that point after sunset where most of the sky was dark, but there was still that hint of orange on the horizon. The lake was calm and quiet, not a single boat, and all the neighboring houses seemed to be vacant.
Okay.
We're truly the only ones around still. Our deck has a fire pit, so we lit as well as heat because it was chilly. The four of us were playing a game of beer pong, when in the middle of it, Glenn grabbed his phone and lowered the music to his portable speaker. He and Steve turned around to look over the deck to the grass below. My dad and I went over to see what they were looking at. Glenn said he heard something below us, and he could see someone walk under the deck. The deck doesn't have a stairway leading down. You have to go inside and downstairs to get down there.
Okay.
So my dad and I went downstairs and out the back door under the deck. There was nobody there. My dad called out a bunch of times to confirm this, and we went back upstairs. The thing is, Steve swore by it as well that he also heard someone speaking from under the deck. Regardless, we cut the game of beer pong short and went inside, making sure to lock the door.
There you go. That's smart.
My mom and dad were up in their loft bedroom, while I was in the living room playing PlayStation. That's when it started. Loud, aggressive bangs on the sliding door. Accompanied with the bangs was a man's shrieks and screams.
Oh, no.
Sounded like he was screaming for help.
No.
The curtain to the door was shut, so I couldn't see who it was, but apparently everyone in the house heard it, because my brothers and parents came.
See, in cases like that, like you would never, like, especially with this COVID-19, like, I don't care where you live, if you live in the country or the suburbs or in the city. First of all, if I don't know who you are, and especially with this COVID-19 stuff out here, where if you touch something and then I touch it, I can easily get it and there's no cure. Oh man, nope. With this stuff out there, I still go outside, but be smart. I have my mask on. As you guys know, if you go outside, you should have your mask on and gloves, right? You should have mask and gloves on. I didn't want to at first, but nah. Like, everybody else heard it, and you heard it too. Somebody asking for help. Just some random person. It's like me going up to somebody's house asking for help. I don't know them. What if they got the virus? You don't know. But there's symptoms to it, though, but it's crazy. Don't open that door. Look to see who it is first. I wouldn't even go peek. You don't know who that is, and the area is not vacant, but during this pandemic, as it is, Yup. I'm trying to open the door, like, where you going? Open the door. Exactly. See, please.
Rushing to the living room. My dad yanked the curtain open to find himself face to face with some red-in-the-face man banging his fist on the glass, begging to be let in. He was claiming he was hurt and needed help. My dad asked, "Where are you hurt?" He didn't answer that, though. He just kept repeating, "Let me in, I'm hurt."
No.
My dad then yelled to get out of here before we'd call the cops.
There you go.
He yanked the blinds shut and told us all to shut and lock our windows if they were open. We all stayed in the living room together for a couple hours, just to be safe. We had a movie on in the background as we talked, but eventually, with no other uninvited visitors outside, we all split off into our respective rooms for the night. I was browsing YouTube videos in my bed when it happened. The crash of shattering glass so loud it made me jump out of my bed. My heart instantly started racing. I didn't know if I was the only one who heard it because I didn't hear my parents or brothers running out of their rooms. I picked up the phone and called my dad's cell. He picked up and whispered he heard it too, and to stay in my room and lock the door.
Okay.
I reminded him my door didn't have a lock. Of course, my room, all the...
So you mean to tell me your door doesn't have a lock? People gotta be serious these days. Every door in the house should have a lock. Every door. If not, it's a problem. The bathroom door, right? If you have an attic, yeah. If you have a basement, nah, not really. Attic, not so really. Because they're more like storage places. Right? If you have it. Shoot, some closets even got a lock. And more importantly, your room doors. And of course, I think the bathroom door, yeah. A bathroom door should have locks. You don't want to be using a bathroom and somebody walk in on you. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're using the bathroom. But that's crazy. How doesn't your door have a lock? What? Your family tripping. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta put two to two together. You know there was a guy that came up to you and said, I need help. That's ridiculous. It should have a lock.
Biggest of my brothers was the one room that didn't have a lock. He told me to hide in the closet and call my brothers while he called the cops. I heard footsteps outside my room in the living room area. I tiptoed to my closet and did my best to quietly open and close the door, but the damn hinges just had to squeak. I sat behind a big plastic bag and texted my brothers, who also heard the noise and each locked their doors. It was the most tense moment of my life in that closet. The bedroom door opened, and I could see through the strips in the closet door someone walk to my bed and sit at the edge of it. He then took off one of his shoes and started shaking it, as if to get something out of his shoe. He put his shoe back on, then his head actually turned to look at the closet door. I felt as though he was looking at me. There was just this silence for the longest time, until he finally spoke, saying, I know you're in there. I'm sure your family already called the cops. I'm not sure what my next course of action should be. At that moment, I had to decide whether to stay in there or make a break for the door.
Stay in.
And I chose the second option. I burst through the closet door screaming as some kind of adrenaline boost.
Wow.
I made it to the door, expecting him to lunge for me and grab me, but he didn't.
Wow.
I ran up to my parents' loft and banged on the door. My dad opened it and let me in. I waited with them until the cops entered through the freshly broken back door. Then we left the room to meet them. The man who was sitting on my bed was no longer in the house.
Of course.
We checked every closet, under every bed, every little crevice of the house. The cops recommended we tape a bunch of garbage bags over the door and shut the curtain, and also that we stay awake for the night. My dad stayed in the living room the whole night, and first thing in the morning he ran to Home Depot to buy a glass pane to fix the door. We're still actively quarantining in this house a week later. I'll send updates if the man returns.
Stop playing with your lives. Y'all know these people. Have random people come up in your house.
I've been staying in my apartment in Jersey City during this coronavirus epidemic. My roommate has since gone home to Ohio to stay with her family during all of this.
Okay.
So I've been in the apartment alone.
Okay.
I've been mostly just watching new movies and shows. I try not to go out too much because my city is pretty bad right now. A couple days ago, I was running extremely low on food, so I had to make a mandatory grocery run. I went to the nearby Trader Joe's wearing a mask and gloves, which, including the insane line and limited stock, turned out to be a production.
Okay.
On my walk home in the dark, I realized the streets were even quieter than they were the last time I went shopping, just a week before.
Of course.
Suddenly, out from an alleyway, some guy wearing a mask and gloves approached me. He had a baby wrapped in a hoodie and small blanket in his hands. He seemed very sincere in asking me to let him take his son to my apartment real quick so he could
First of all, I ain't gonna let nobody approach me during this epidemic. You know what I'm saying? He said he approached you. Matter of fact, if you saw him coming right, or if you're just walking, he just came out of nowhere and start coming close to you, back up. Like I know he's wearing a mask and have gloves on, but I don't know you. See what I'm saying? What do people don't understand? They know this stuff going on like that. Like I don't want, and me personally, before this epidemic, I ain't let nobody get close to me. You know, I'm a sports player. You know, the only time that somebody supposed to be in your grill unless you're playing some type of sport. Other than that, at least 3 feet away. You know, at least I don't talk too close to somebody. You know, if you're on a public area, I understand that. If it's a crowded line, I understand that. You know, a public area. But now they saying 6 feet because of that stuff. But yeah, you don't know. I'm like, where he come from? Out in the alleyway. Come on now.
change his diaper and feed him his food. He swore to me that he was clean, and that he really needed this favor for just 5 minutes. That it was an emergency. Hearing the baby's little cries, and the fact that this man even had a child with him and just seemed sincere, the soft part of me agreed. I led him to my apartment building. It was only a short walk from there. We walked up the 3 stories to my apartment, and I led him inside, asking him to close the door behind him. I cleared a spot on the living room table for him to change his child's diaper and whatever. When I turned around, the man was like pacing around, or more like snooping around, I guess. He went into my kitchen to do God knows what. I called over to him that I set up the table for him to use. He didn't answer. I started getting confused. I walked to the kitchen and saw him looking around suspiciously, and what else I saw confused me. The man was standing with what I thought was his child, held in only one hand. It took me a second to understand. It wasn't a child. It was just some baby doll wrapped up in a blanket.
See?
I'm assuming one of those realistic ones that make the crying and moaning noises. The man looked at me and pulled out a gun from his right pocket. That's where things went from 1 to 100 real quick. He looked at me with a gun aimed at me and said something along the lines of, "I'm gonna take what I want and you're gonna stay in my sight." Of course, I had to say okay with a gun aimed at my head. I wondered if it could be a BB gun with a tip painted black, but even if it was, I doubted I could overpower him. I couldn't risk it. The man pulled out a big black bag from his backpack and filled it with valuables, including my wallet, some of my roommate's jewelry, kitchen valuables, my brother's Xbox which he lent me, and my iPad. It was sickening to watch, but I was the most scared of him pulling the trigger of that gun. He filled his bag and threw the fake baby in it as well. Then he left. I called the cops first thing. They came and helped me in contacting the building owner to see the CCTV footage from the halls. Of course, upon seeing the footage, it didn't help much. The man's face was covered by a mask, making it near impossible to even discover who he was. All I can do is urge everyone to be careful, not to trust anyone, and stay indoors until all this is over. The past month, I've been quarantining in my apartment alone with minimal outside contact because of the virus. My apartment is the downstairs floor of a 2-family house. The upstairs occupant isn't the landlord, he's just another tenant. I'm actually decently acquainted with the guy. His name's Rico. To be honest, he's a bit odd though. Of course, I hadn't seen Rico because I've been quarantining.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays you gotta be careful, but yeah, gotta be careful. Can't trust nobody. It's about line.
I do still have to wake up early in the morning though for work, which I report to on my laptop now. A week ago, Rico started making a lot of noise one night. Late night, actually. I was in bed. It was like past 12. I had to be up early. And all of a sudden, I just start hearing constant thumping noises coming from the upstairs level of the house. It sounded like Rico was stomping around in boots or something.
That's odd.
I waited for it to hopefully end eventually, but it just kept going on and on and on. Over 20 minutes of the stomping. I was so frustrated that I got up to knock on his door outside. I knocked a few times loud enough for him to hear. He never answered. When I gave up and went back to my room, though, thankfully the noise had stopped. I wasn't sure if he heard my knocks and stopped because of that or what, but I didn't care much. I fell into a deep sleep for some time, till I awoke in my dark bedroom. The clock read 2:30 something. I didn't know what exactly woke me up at first. Then I realized it must have been the fact that the room was cold. And I realized my window on the opposite side of the room was open about a foot.
Wow.
I knew for a fact I did not do that. I got up and quietly shut it, looking around my room paranoid. I checked under my bed and in the closet. No one there. It's not like anyone could fit through that opening in the window, but someone actually went out of their way to open that, and that terrified me. I did a scope of the place with all the lights on, and I could confirm there was nobody hiding inside, so I went back to bed with one eye open. Then the noises upstairs started again, thumping and stomping. I couldn't take this anymore. It almost sounded like he was hitting the floor with a hammer or something. I went up to his door again and pounded on it, yelling his name as well. Once again, no answer.
That's not Rico. That's not Rico.
I went back inside and grabbed my phone and dug deep for Rico's number.
It ain't her.
I didn't have it saved. As well.
Sorry.
Once again, no answer. I went back inside and grabbed my phone and dug deep for Rico's number. I didn't have it saved. It was buried in my text conversation somewhere. When I found it, I called him. He didn't pick up the first time or the second, but on the third time, he picked up sounding confused and like he had just been woken up. I said in a rather annoyed tone that he needed to stop making the constant noises.
I don't think that's him.
He asked what I'm talking about, and I explained the thumping noises. Then he dropped the bomb and told me, "Jared, I'm not in my apartment. I went home to stay with my family a week ago. Call the cops." It suddenly made a lot more sense, and I realized the noises had stopped ever since I went back to the door. I hung up before saying another word and dialed 911, not wasting a second. As I was on the phone talking to the police operator, I heard it clicking in my bedroom window. Someone was outside trying to lift open the window, which I had just locked earlier.
See?
I screamed as I realized it, and then yelled at the operator to hurry with the police. She said they were on their way and asked me to describe the man, but I couldn't. It was too dark. He seemed to hear my conversation, I would guess, and walked away from the window. 4 police officers showed up. I led them to the upstairs apartment where the door was unlocked. I walked in behind the officers, and not much searching needed to be done. There was a man with long graying hair down to his shoulders, sitting on the couch, looking up at the ceiling, seemingly laughing. When the officers approached him to arrest him, the man focused in on me, still laughing. He started to point at me, and that's when I had to leave because I was too freaked out. I waited until the man was in one of the police cars before talking to the officers again. I locked Rico's door, and the cops just told me to keep a good eye on the place for the time being.
Okay.
Rico came back the following day to assess what was stolen. He has been staying upstairs since.
Okay. So it turns out Rico wasn't crazy. See what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. You can't trust people, man. Because that was 2 stories on a robbery attempt or somebody breaking in. What's up? Matter of fact, 3. All 3 was based on robbery. And it's like they asked so nicely, but you can't trust nobody. Best believe it. Anyway, that's crazy. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a thumbs up. Also, there are going to be more videos coming up, so stay tuned. And I'm going to get into more animation videos on my laptop. And I'm going to also learn how to record on Streamlabs OBS, which is a software that's used for your computer. Basically, because, you know, but if I go to like my software, right, I got Krita, which is an animation app, and I also got Audacity, which is like, you know, you can put stuff in the background and stuff. And Krita, you can use it. Krita, you can use sounds in the background. You draw the character and stuff. But it's more I gotta get into though. But I got from other YouTubers, and then Streamlab OBS is what you use also. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Yeah, what happened in the middle of the video was a phone call. You know, I'm doing it on my phone, but that's why I had to pause. Sorry guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys in the next one. Peace.